Doctor, do you know how hard it was for me to wrap my mind around the idea of being a father? And now you're telling me I can't even make a baby?
You still have another sperm sample available. Oh my God, Damany.
All right, folks. Well, that was our sneak peek. It's about 5 minutes long, but okay, let me put it this way. I mentioned it in my trailer breakdown. I am not really the best person to try to, discuss the ins and out of being a carrier of, a disease. Like in this case with Rich being sickle cell, and, the percentage or the potential symptoms of someone creating a baby with someone and then that baby having the disease. I mean, this clip, you had Dr. Moore breaking it down. I read the comments and a good amount of people felt like this wasn't the best representation of sickle cell. So I'm not even going to attempt to try to explain it. I would highly suggest looking at the clip for yourself and dissecting whether or not the writing was actually good or if it wasn't. But let me just say, regardless as to how you feel about the likes of Rich, Jordan, Tony, this particular storyline in general, can we not agree that the acting was very good during this scene? I thoroughly enjoyed it. Dr. Moore from, just remaining calm, cool, and collected. Rich, he does tend to be very overly emotional, but given the circumstance, you can completely understand his reaction to this news. And Sabrina, she's trying to comfort him, but at the same time, she's coming to grips with the fact that, well, my man can't donate his sperm because he's a carrier. And it's like, well, all that time, all the hormonal shots and everything, all that money down the drain. But then Dr. Moore, says that, well, not completely, because remember, you still have the sperm donation from Damany. And Rich, I think this was my favorite Rich moment since he's been introduced, where he talks about how this news is just eating him up because he didn't even want to be a father, but because Sabrina, he loves her so much, he was willing to put that aside to donate his sperm, and now it's, he's defective. And I'm just like, man, that's some heavy stuff. Like I said, I don't know if this is the best representation of sickle cell, but in terms of the acting, I think this is one of the finest scenes that these new writers have. Well, let me just put it this way: that these new writers have scripted, the actors portrayed, and then the people behind the camera. They got some great angles here. This is some good stuff. Now the big question is, what's next? Does Sabrina go through with the procedure? I think she probably will. It makes sense. I mean, she does desire to be a mom. She's put in a lot of time and money into this. And now it's a matter of, how is Rich going to feel about this? And I definitely feel there's a breakup coming on. A lot of people have said the same thing, though. It's like, well, why don't they just have a baby the old-fashioned way? Like, what's up with all this with the money and the procedure? Well, it seems like they could just go ahead and do the nasty themselves, but this procedure was expensive. This was discussed at the beginning of early season 7, when Sabrina had turned 35. She had just gotten, her footing at the bank again. So around the time, she got her old position, that's when she started with this procedure and she had the extra money. I mean, getting her promotion and as branch manager, the money from that, was going to help out with the procedure. So I don't know. What would you do if you were in her position? I think it's the best question here. Like, would you just throw caution to the wind, or I don't know. I just wanted to say I like the acting, I'm very excited to see where this storyline is going to go, because now it's like, ooh, Rich feels betrayed, and I get it because remember he threw aside his lack of a desire to have kids because he knew is what Sabrina wanted, and he loves her that much. So now it's like, oh wow, okay, so I finally do what you want. But I could see both sides of this. I truly can. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this amazing scene. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.